Happy holidays, everybody. Actually, this is the, you can see from the title of the video, if you follow my channel, and if you don't follow my channel, follow my channel. If you like swords, you like blades, that's what I do, that's what I love, that's what you're gonna see. And I do everything that surrounds. I talk about the history of blades, I talk about maintenance, how to maintain your blades, how to sharpen your blades, different ways of sharpening your blades, different size blades, you know, things like that. I love the workshop. You're gonna see a lot of the workshop, a lot of diamond stones on my channel and stuff. We had a little bit of snow in New York last night. It looks like we may get somewhat of a white Christmas. It's been a long time since we had a white Christmas here in New York. Sitting a little bit of traffic. I figure I'll go live. This is a follow-up. I wish there's actually more people in the room. I'm actually just stalling for time to get more people in the room. But yeah, sitting in traffic. There was a nice coating of snow on the floor. It's been a while. We didn't have a really bad, we've been dodging some really bad winters in New York for a while. Actually, we had a very mild winter last year. It looks like it's a little bit colder this year. El Nino, or whatever the hell they're calling it now. I think it was El Nino, now it's El Nino. I have no idea what all that means. But supposedly this El Nino pattern is going to bring a lot more frigid, cold weather in the eastern seaboard or around the country this year. So that's basically what we're looking at. Guys, if you're in the room, let me know. Make your presence known. I can't really look at the chat. I'm driving. I mean, I'm actually sitting in traffic, so it's not too much of a distraction. And I have my field of view right here, so nothing. I'm not keeping my eyes off the road. If you know, I know some people get bothered by that, but this is more of a talking head type of thing. I put out a video, and if you guys are in the room and you can hear me and see me, okay, please let me know, because I am going on 5G. Gary, what's up, buddy? Gary, if you're here, just let me know if you can, if there's any lag, if you're seeing me okay, and if you're hearing me okay, buddy. I appreciate it, since you're the only person I'm seeing here right now. So I put out a video regarding and I titled it, "The Katana is Dead." Now, that wasn't clickbait. There was a real premise behind that video, and I actually wanted to come on here and follow up. No lag, thanks, bud. You can hear me? Good. I wanted to follow up. The Verizon 5G is working well. Good, excellent. So I wanted to follow up with a live, because I got so much great engagement with that video. There's a lot of people that are very passionate about the subject of historical weapons and how they should be labeled, where they're made, if they're good. I mean, how these historical weapons are labeled. Now, I don't think that happens as much with knives or European weapons, but for some reason with katana, and maybe because most of katana are made in China and people have a thing with China, I don't know, but specifically with katana, Garen, I hope you're feeling better, buddy. I hope you're feeling better for the holidays. I hope you're actually coming off the being sick. All clips, all chips. I can't really see it. Thanks, buddy, for joining me. I'm losing train of thought. So a lot of engagement, a lot of people passionate about the subject, because there is something going on out there for many years about how you label swords that are made out of China, that specifically the katana, people get all bent out of freaking shape about not having swords coming, any sword that's made out of Japan that looks like a katana should not be called a katana, because it wasn't made in Japan. It's just a sword. It's just such utter bullshit. So my premise behind that, or my answer to these people, is the fact that my view of it is, and there's other people that can solidify the view as well, The katana is synonymous with the samurai sword. It is a sword that was carried by the samurai. Some say that it actually, the samurai soul was instilled or embedded in the blade of the katana. That's the legend. So there was a huge importance, honor. There was honor, there was pride in the katana that the samurai, basically carried. There was prestige, there was a class, and it was iconic. It became iconic now. So, but when there hasn't been a samurai that walked this planet for many, many years. Katana fanboy, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining my live. I'm talking about a video I put out last night and I titled it "The Katana is Dead." I think you would appreciate that conversation because you're an old timer with this stuff, man. You're like one of the OGs in the katana world, so you would appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. So my premise was to these people that basically are naturalists, and any sword coming out of Japan that looks like a katana should never be called a katana because it wasn't made in Japan, yada yada yada. Okay, my answer and my premise behind that was the fact that the katana is dead. The samurai sword has been dead with the samurai for hundreds of years. Okay, so there hasn't been a real katana for hundreds of years. To make it short, anything to look like the historical katana, the schematic of a katana, the old J tradition of how a katana should look and how it's built, whether it's made in Japan, whether it's made in China, whether it's made in the Philippines, they are all replications of an historical sword. So they all should be and can be called katana, because the actual katana has been dead with the samurai for many years. Now, I know obviously that's a little drastic, but that's one way of looking at it, that basically you can call everything that's produced that looks like a katana a reproduction. Even the ones out of Japan are reproductions of an original design that has been dead to history for many years. I wouldn't call it dead. It's alive. It's basically brought back. It should be celebrated. What I'm trying to say is the fact that the katana has the design and it's still being made today after 1,000 years or whatever the freaking case is, when they first developed the first naginata and all the renditions that came after it. The fact that katana is a style, right? The fact that this sword is still being produced today, that should be celebrated. It should be celebrated. And it's not just a traditional design. Now you have modern style katana. You have machetes that look like freaking katana. You have zombie tools that makes a freaking, a zombie tools katana like weapon. You have Dragon King that is making, what's up guys? I can't really look at the chat as much, but thank you for joining me. Thanks for spending some time on this Saturday morning before the holidays. So it should be basically celebrated. I mean, what I was trying to say is also the replications and the modern style of the Dragon King, the Dragon King line of modern katana, the modern wakizashi, the modern tanto. Came out the version 2 with the bohi now, and I have the waki that I'm going to review. It's awesome. I actually put that on the video last night. These are modern renditions of the katana, of the waki, of the tanto. These things should be celebrated. I think people get a little too bent out of freaking shape, and they're living. I understand that the katana, the naginata that's made in Japan, Nihanto that's made in Japan is iconic. It's an iconic symbol of the Japanese tradition, and I respect that and I love that, and I understand that whole premise. But you can't basically say that a quality katana like Shadow Dance or Azise or freaking Evolution Blade or Howard Clark, who's making them in the States, or Walter Soros, who's making them in the States, you can never freaking say that these swords cannot be called katana, because they are. Because all katana today are replicas. They are reproductions of a sword of historical times. That's all I'm basically trying to say. And I appreciate the passion that's out there and the people that basically are engaging with the video and are talking about it and stuff like that. And I really appreciate that. It's really cool that people basically are very passionate about the subject. And I'm glad that a lot of my followers that I review, because I review swords, I review Katana predominantly on my channel, and I appreciate the fact that there are people that are that passionate. And I respect everybody's point of view. Some people say, most people they don't really fucking think it's a big deal. They're like, oh, Katana's a style. It's not a big deal. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? But there's the naturalists that basically get all bent out of shape. And I respect them too, because you know what? They respect the tradition and the importance, the iconic importance of pretty much one of the most incredible human achievements ever are these weapons, especially these katanas. Something really, really special about the way a katana is made and conceived and put together that is not like any other sword in the world. It really is. The way the tomahawk, the way they folded the steel, just everything about the intricacies and the painstaking details that they put into the sword, even today, there's really nothing like it. So for people to basically respect that tradition and that importance of achievement, that human achievement, I can understand where they're coming from. Okay, I could. But you can't ridicule the fact that the tradition is being kept alive from these artisans that are actually, some of them are cheap junk, obviously. Some of them are just made to just make a quick buck. People don't want to spend a lot of money. They'll buy them for $50. They'll experience it, break it, and they'll move on, But there's the artisans that really take a lot of pride in making these swords today. And you can't discount what they're doing and what they're all about and ridicule them and say that, oh, whatever you're making is just a sword, it's not a katana. It's just utter bullshit. It's stupid. Again, I respect the tradition, and I have studied it. I love the tradition, and it always amazes me. I was into the forging of steel a long time ago when I was a kid. When I first saw it somewhere, I was amazed by it, and then that's how long I've been into swordcraft. So I understand that, but don't ridicule other companies for basically keeping that spirit alive of the katana. Fantasy katanas. Listen, there's anime. There is a video, some videos I made out about anime. Now, a lot of people say anime killed the image of the katana because they made it into something so freaking fantastic and over embellished and powerful, and it wasn't like that. The way I look at it is anime, I think, helped the sword industry because it's getting people into the whole passion of swordcraft, of a time when people basically carried swords around, and I think anime basically keeps that going for the most part. So I think it helped the sword industry. And again, I put videos out there on my channel as well. Some people say it killed the image. I think it helped the image. It helped the sword industry. Even a company like freaking Mini Katana, even though a lot of their stuff are trinkets and freaking novelties and these anime stuff, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they do also, provide some real weapons and real swords, and they're getting swords into the hand of a younger generation, with the path of anime that would have never been into swords, if not for the social media platform that Mini Katana is, because that's what it is. It's a social media freaking platform, So, Wolverine and Murasami Katana. I don't know what that is, but Garen, but I can't really keep up with the chat, guys. I'm really sorry, but thanks for joining me. So weapons. So, yeah, man, it's the younger generation, if not for social media, if not for these companies that sell these swords, if not for anime, if not for even a lot of these movies, Lord of the Rings, all these things that get us into, listen, we are all, I think most of us are pretty much amazed by the time in our history where before firearms where we all had bladed weapons. That's why there's such a big knife revolution, because people love their knives. They use their knives as tools. I love knives as well. I do a lot of knives on my channel as well. That's a big part of my channel. And people just, in terms of swordcraft, people are just amazed about that adventurous time in our history. Basically, our EDCs back then were swords. The way we carry around our phones are our real EDCs, even though I hate that term, everyday carry, but an everyday carry for us are our phones. Joe Story, what's up, buddy? I can't really read it, but thank you for joining me. I'll try to come into China and these swords when direction is evolved for them. But thank you for your comment. I can't really engage because I'm driving. But thanks for coming in. The EDC back in medieval times was the sword, was a knife at your side. That was your EDC. Those were like exciting times. Imagine basically carrying out a freaking sword today and say, oh yeah, this is my everyday carry. You get freaking put behind bars. I mean, yeah, there's states out there where you can carry machetes at your back and shit. I don't know how they could get away with it, because I live in New York and you can't get away with stuff like that. But I just think it's funny. Some people in some states, like in Florida, say, oh yeah, I could carry around a freaking Bowie at my side or a machete in my back. A cop will be like, oh yeah, okay, just keep that in your back. Just move on. But yeah, listen, it's fun. It's a fun time. You kind of visualize how it used to be. We love our historical weapons, but again, that's what they are. They are reproductions. The Knight Sword is a reproduction. Just because a Bowie is not made in America and it's made, let's just say, freaking in Taiwan, doesn't make it less of a Bowie that's made in America, because the Bowie is an American knife. It's stupid. Just because a kukri is not made in Nepal doesn't mean that a kukri made by Condor in El Salvador, designed by Joe Flowers, is not just as much as a kukri made in Nepal. Of course, the kukri made in Nepal, is a certain way. I mean, there's a certain look and feel to them. But you can pick up a Joe Flowers design kukri from freaking Condor, which is badass, and it's every bit as much of a kukri and can perform as a kukri as one you would buy from the kukri house, okay, China Power, or any, many companies in Nepal that are making kukri. So it's just a BS freaking thing, with these naturalists out there that basically look at these historical weapons and say, oh, they have to be made in a certain place and made in a certain way in order to call them what they're supposed to be called. It's stupid, because all of these weapons are historical weapons that are dead to time. The fact that they're being brought back by reproductions is an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing. I love the fact that we have katana still, and I love katana. For me, it's a piece of art. I hang them up on my walls. I hang them up on mantles. Katana, for me, when I look at a katana, I'd rather have a katana on my wall than a freaking picture, because for me, it's a beautiful picture to me to see katana on my wall. And I'm blessed with a lot of companies that send me all of the katana that I have, pretty much all of them, for review, and I'm able to keep them, and I'm blessed for that, and I'm appreciative of that. I work for them in my videos, but I digress. Marcus, everybody that came into the room, thank you for being here. Much appreciated. And I know I'm supposed to mention it because YouTube mentions it. There is something you could do with these short lives where you can buy coins and give a gift to the basically the person's presenting. Listen, I don't want anything from you guys, but if you're able to, for the holidays, for putting these videos out, obviously to help support the channel, I appreciate it. But more importantly, I'd rather get a subscribe and a like and a share from you guys. I mean, that goes a long way as well. So I appreciate you guys being here, and anything you can do for me, I do appreciate it, because it is, it's a lot of work to keep these channels going, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy engaging with you guys and getting this thing going. But again, if you guys have not watched that video I put out, steaming up here. If you have not watched the video I put out last night about the Katana is dead. Please try to take a look at it. It was a very interesting video, I think, from what people tell me. A lot of people engaging with it, and I'm happy that people engaging with the video so early. And it's an interesting topic. It really is. It's an interesting topic because, again, I always say I respect everybody's reasonable opinion on stuff. I really do. I always respect everybody's opinion, and as long as it's reasonable and it's not outlandish, you know. But it's just, you have to kind of just really you can't be that stuck on a certain freaking brain wave and not understand of really what these historical weapons are today. They're historical weapons being reproduced. So demographics for me doesn't really matter. They really don't. You know, if you call, you can't, I don't agree with Nihanto, where people call swords that are not made in Japan a Nihanto, because the whole definition of freaking Nihanto is made in Japan. So when you have these companies that say, oh, real Nihanto, if they're not freaking coming out of Japan, then it's just a stupid thing to call them. It's just, you're classifying them wrong. But if you call them Katana, if you say, you know, and this is where they're made, but their actual Katana, they follow the steps of what a Katana is supposed to be. So why the hell not? Demographics really don't matter. They don't mean shit. They don't mean fucking shit. The same way it doesn't mean shit where kukri is made. You have the American kukri. You have Spartan blades that made the American style kukri designed from Ed Harsey, from Bill Harsey. Okay, designed an American style kukri made by Spartan blades. I used that kukri. I reviewed it. I reviewed that, and I put it against the K-bar. I put it against the a kukri made from Nepal, from the KHI Nepal, from the kukri house. I did a video on that as well. Is that freaking kukri made in America any less cannot be called a kukri because it was made in America? No, it's still the design of a kukri, and it still should be called a kukri. I mean, it's stupid how these naturalists basically get stuck on that all the time, you know. But that's basically it, man. I just really wanted to, I wanted to send appreciation for the engagement that I got, and I wanted to tout the video a little bit more. If you haven't watched it yet, it's a live, so I can't really put it in, but if you go to my channel, JS Bladecraft, and take a look at the last video I put out, and the title of it is called Katana is Dead. I would love to hear your input on it, because I can't really look at the chat. I see a lot of people engaging here, and I appreciate that as well. Yeah, man, it's an interesting topic, and I appreciate you guys basically checking out my channel. So if you passing by, guys, a like, a share, and a subscribe will help my channel grow. Buying a coin as a gift would also help basically go. I also have a membership tier. If you guys can basically join in on membership, that also helps the channel keep it going, and I sincerely appreciate anything you could do. And like I said, even a sub can go a very long way. And that's it, guys. If you want to leave some comments on this live as I conclude it, and let me know if you have any questions, or definitely go into that video, Katana is Dead, and engage with that as well. So very good, guys. Thanks for joining me. Enjoy the holidays. We're gonna have a Blade Talk coming up with Scab and I coming up soon on live for the holidays. I'm hoping that can get done before Christmas Eve, and we'll let you know when it is. Subscribe to my channel and you'll get a notification bell as far as when that live is going to come in. I know we're going to do some giveaways with Scab from Work Tough Gear, which should be pretty freaking cool. And that's it, guys. Thanks for the engagement. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. Love you all. Have a good one, guys. And I appreciate all that you do, and for sticking with my channel. Have a good one, guys, and happy holidays. I'll see you soon.